Video game adaptations, they're bad. I mean, there's no bottom line here. Maybe I'm being a little too harsh, but like they're awful. Like they're terrible. Okay, maybe there's some good ones though. Like we should talk about that. We should talk about the fact that there's some good ones. Okay, so like I'm not really a big movie or TV adaptation of video games guy. Like I've never gotten really into the movie or TV series of certain video games that have gone from video game to screen before. And I mean, you've got a pretty bad track record even in recent memory, other than like The Last of Us, which is, I mean, in a category of its own in terms of how great it is. I mean, you've got like the Halo TV series, which was atrocious, and then the Super Mario Brothers movie, which wasn't bad, but it wasn't really what you wanted it to be, and it had that one song, and that was it. And then there was the Resident Evil series that happened, and I remember it happening, but I don't remember anything about it except that I watched it, and I feel like no one else remembers it, but god damn it, it happened! Anyway, the bottom line is, I feel like we've been waiting for the longest time to really have a really good video game adaptation that changes people's automatic, like, stereotypical perspective on video game adaptations from expecting it to be like, oh, this video game is going to be shitty, to, oh, maybe this video game adaptation isn't going to be shitty and it's not going to make me want to completely recreate in scale the video game adaptation in the video game, and then I would end up Jumanjiing myself into the screen, except for instead of going into the game, I end up just smashing through the TV and I die. And for the first time in a long time, I feel like we really have a video game adaptation that makes us want to do that second one, I think. I don't really know what I just said, and I feel like maybe both of them are really bad, but I feel like there's not really a good option here for me to be able to do here. Like, I don't know what the... So the Fallout show released on Amazon Prime a few weeks ago, and it's got a pretty star-studded cast. I mean, you've got Ella Purnell, who played Jinx in Arcane, and has been in other things, too. Most notably, though, Alita Battle Angel. You've got Walton Goggins, who plays the Ghoul, and quick spoiler-ish thing here, he also plays a very important character in the past too, and it's very important to the show. And if you don't really know who Walton Goggins is, that's okay, because he's that actor who's been in like everything that you've ever seen, but you can't really name the character he plays or what things he's actually been in. You just know that he's been in things, and I'm also having this problem right now where I can't name anything that he's actually been in. And who could forget the best actor in the show with the most storied career? I'm talking about Moises Arias, who played Rico on Hannah Montana, baby. Okay, no, it's Kyle MacLachlan, who plays the overseer of Vault 33 and also Lucy's father, and he was in Twin Peaks and basically every other weird sci-fi thing you've ever seen, and he was the original Paul Atreides before Timothy Wonkame did it. So the show released on Prime, like I said, and it's got a lot of really, really positive reviews, and I think I know why. See, I've taken a look at a bunch of the other recent video game adaptations and even going back some ways, and I think I've pinpointed the trend that those follow that this show didn't, that made it so much better and so different from these other adaptations. Before we get into that, remember to leave a like on the video and let me know in the comments what your favorite Fallout game is. Mine is probably Fallout 3. I'm just gonna go with that. So first, let's take a look at one of probably the worst recent video game adaptations in television or movies, the Halo TV series. Now, this may be me giving myself the opportunity to have an angry rant about this, but please just work with me on this, because I, as an avid fan of the Halo franchise, feel like I need to say a couple things. See, this is Master Chief. And see, this is an abomination of a creature who takes his helmet and armor off all the time and talks to everyone and claims to be Master Chief, but there's no fucking way he's Master Chief. Listen, you don't take Master Chief's helmet off. He's Master Chief. This isn't some random Spartan. This is Master Chief. John 117. Him. You do not mess with Master Chief. You do not mess with this character and the lore behind this character. See, this is the main problem with the Halo show, at its core at least, is you take a beloved character, you completely butcher the character's, like, core values and what they stand for and their characteristics, and you just throw everything in the garbage, and then you give us a convoluted plot with mediocre character writing, and you take Master Chief's helmet off. God, I am so sorry. I needed to get that out, and I can breathe. Oh, I should go to a hospital. Now back to the Fallout show and why it's great. See, this show takes place in the same universe as the game series, but it doesn't try to like interfere with the main story of any of the games or try to like change any plot or really mess with any of the lore of the games, and it tries to create its own unique story set in the universe of Fallout. See, they're able to tell this fresh new story with the same themes and same kind of sense of humor as the original Fallout games, because they don't want to mess with the audience and the fan base and what they know about this beloved series. They juggle all of the storylines between Lucy trying to find her father, to the history and startup of Vault-Tec and the inevitable fallout, and how it actually includes the main ghoul himself, to what's going on in Vault 33 while Lucy is gone on her quest to find her father. And they're able to take all of these different storylines and weave it together in such a way that it's almost worthy of being its own Fallout game as a story. And even when the plot could seem like it's wildly complicated, they're able to simplify it enough so that you don't have to be an avid fan of the games to watch the show. You could just be a casual viewer looking for a show to watch on Amazon Prime that isn't Reacher. Like my father, for example, he's not really an avid gamer, and he didn't really hear of the Fallout series, mostly because he didn't really ask me about what games I was playing when I was a kid, and didn't really try to get involved with my gaming experience growing up. But that's on, like, you know, parental trauma bonding, and I'm sure that won't come up later in therapy, but this isn't the point of what I'm saying. He's watched the show, and he didn't play the games. And now I need an extra therapy session. See, because the Fallout franchise is one of the most popular game franchises over the last almost 30 years. And so a lot of the fans in the audience knows how to tell a Fallout story better than any show writer could ever tell a Fallout story. And so the writers of the show, knowing that, probably, tried their best to create a new, intriguing story in the Fallout universe without messing with any of the lore that fans would very easily call them out on. Now, quick spoilers again for the Fallout series, but if you haven't watched the series yet and you're watching this video, leave a like on this video and then go back and watch the show and then come back later for when we talk about this again. So just a quick spoiler warning. The last shot of the show is Hank in a power suit walking into New Vegas. And now the question with this is, could they somehow connect this new story to the New Vegas storylines? And I don't actually think that they're going to do that. Sure, it could be interesting to try to weave the story of this show into the story of New Vegas, but I don't think the show writers want to upset the audience by telling a story that could be recycled parts or something that the audience could call them out on as being mediocre. I mean, with the major success this show had, why would the showrunners open up their show to more criticism from fans by interweaving stories of previous games and previous IPs into their own new tale? Especially with the number of new fans of the show who, as I mentioned earlier, don't really have that much knowledge of the games or previous lore. The Fallout show was a lot better than I think a lot of fans expected it to be. It found a way to take the humor, the tension, and the mystery of the original games and tie it into a show while telling its fresh new story set in the same universe as these storied games. And in a world of really awful video game adaptations, where yeah, I'm just gonna mute him real quick because I'm trying to talk about the Fallout show, and this ended up just being an angry Halo rant, so let's just move back on to the Fallout show. Anyway, in a world of really shitty video game adaptations, Fallout creates a refreshing new take on an older game in a good way that makes me have real hope and faith in the future of video game adaptations. I mean, it's either that or, you know, studios just keep making the same shitty video game adaptations and we get more seasons of the Halo TV series and it ends up going in this downward spiral and people and studios wonder why they're losing more and more money because these shows aren't being successful, but that's a topic for another day. So the Fallout show, what did you guys think? Did you play the classic Fallout games growing up? And did you think that this show truly captured the essence of the Fallout games? Let me know what you thought down in the comments below. Remember to leave a like and consider subscribing so you can come back and hear me talk about more things that I really dislike or things that I really like too, because apparently I can talk positively about things. Who knew? That's it for this week's Stop and Keys Knowledge Corner. I'll see you next week.